If you are receiving this transmission, you are the Resistance. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Gavin McInnes is our guest. Owen Schroyer here riding shotgun with me. Got a bunch of other guests coming up in the next segment. Drudge had this linked. I didn't get to it yet, but it's the threat of nuclear war. North Korea's threatening to nuke everybody. All these countries are out of control. Russia's the only country actually not threatening us. I'm not some Russia-phile, Rus-phile. I've not been to Russia, whatever. It's just I can geopolitically look. They're being ganged up on by the globalists as well.
No, quit calling it like it is.
They're fighting radical Islam. And then I do see Trump, becoming more and more chumped by this. And notice, the more he gives in to John McCain, the more they say he's a Russian agent. And oh my God, once General Flynn went and hosted a show and got paid to go to Russia. That's all these generals do is get paid to go give speeches. Obama's about to get paid millions for some new damn speech. So Gavin, let's be critical of Trump. I mean, I love Trump. He's totally delivering. But optically, he is kind of getting chumped by going along with this whole thing that he's got to prove he's tough on Russia and people. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I liked Syria. I thought it was a fun little fireworks show that I called it 4D chess in 4 different ways.
No, I get it. Blow up the empty base, look tough, but it hasn't backed them off. Yeah,
I like that part. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to disagree with Coulter when she says, where's the wall? Can we have one brick, please? Can we have a little bit of fence?
That was a big, one of his biggest campaign things. And what I found, Alex, when I talked to people at his events, when I do polls on Twitter, the wall's number one.
Here's the deal. He's delivering on the economy. He's delivering on Glass-Steagall. He's amazing. In fact, I feel bad even when I'm critical of him. But Gavin, let me ask you this in the last 2 minutes we have left. You've got so much on your mind. What else are you focused on? What other tidbits do you want to impart to this audience?
To keep fighting for free speech. I think the amendments are in order of importance. The second is the second most important amendment. And I think it's because with the First Amendment, with free speech, you get to explain to people counterintuitive concepts like more guns, less crime. You benefit everyone with the First Amendment. And you know what? The government wasn't so bad with free speech. In the past few years, the Supreme Court's been pretty good with that. It's the people that didn't seem to understand it. They wanted you fired when you used a bad word. They wanted to take your kids away when you're the kind of guy who never stops talking about his kids, like, say, Alex Jones. They wanted to shut down entire companies because they donated to the wrong thing. And that is finally changing, that culture where Americans are against free speech.
And that's what Trump's really done, is say no to the bullies, no to political correctness. That's the big victory.
Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget when he was saying anchor baby and someone said, why do you use that term? It is offensive. Some Mexican journalist. And he goes, what do you want me to say? And the guy hadn't even thought of it. He said, maybe undocumented child of foreign born. And he goes, nah, I'm saying anchor baby. And that moment, all of America went, finally, we can just speak normally again. We can be Americans again.
All right, Gavin McInnes, thank you so much. I love how you guys are shooting interviews like in the entrance of the building. It's kind of cool, though. It's like these people are like super, like fishmongers. Oh, I got this, I got that. We're doing this, everything. It's kind of a fun thing you're doing there. Gavin, thank you so much for the time.
Cheers, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you this 30-second question. Do you think Trump gets elected to a second term, or does he just not even want to do it like LBJ?
He's definitely getting elected to a second term. He's got a lot of work to do. We got to get rid of Kushner and the neocons. We got to build that wall. And if there's one president on earth who needs 2 terms to do all he's going to do, it's Trump. I mean, we had Obama wrecking the
I agree, but he needs our love. He's actually real. He actually needs our love. Gavin, thank you so much, my friend.
Cheers.
Oh, it's great to have him on. All right, stay with me.
I'm just glad with Trump we'll have another election.
Yeah, exactly. Mark Dice is coming up. We're going to get into the whole trans MTV Awards. Well, Mark Dice, I first met in 2006, 11 years ago. He'd been active for years before that. He's got a degree in media and analysis and PR. And he's changed the world. He's reached billions of people on YouTube alone. He's been censored. He's been blocked. He's been banned off YouTube before. He's been through the gauntlet. And that's really the mark of somebody that's really doing the right thing, is that they're banned, they're blocked, they're attacked. And so I don't want to build us up here, but know this, Mark Dice, they're trying to block. They tried to buy off and he wouldn't sell out. They tried to block me. They tried to get me to sell out. But it's not hard to not sell out when you realize you're selling out to a loser system. I'd sell out to some new great system that was so free and empowering people. Please, let me have a power structure to work with. I don't want to just be out here like the Lone Ranger all day. I'm ready to work with people. I'm ready to have bosses over me. Please show me somebody that is more committed than I am. But it's great to see Mark going from reaching millions a week to millions a day in all his work. And just to illustrate the insanity and the attempted overthrow of reality that is going on with the MTV Awards and all the rest of it, and just the hate. And we're putting a video together of Maxine Waters going, "My millennials, stay woke. We're the resistance." This establishment crone like Pelosi, not knowing who's president, just dumber than a third grader when it comes to geopolitical issues, and they're in charge. They're in charge because the spiders up above them want dumbasses in play. So Mark Dice, markdice.com. Let's go to this clip of him just yesterday breaking down the MTV Awards and their psychological warfare. Then we'll go to Mark Dice. Here it is.
The MTV Movie Awards went full-blown social justice warrior this year, so far over the top that it's difficult to wrap your mind around the insanity. I know what you're thinking. MTV is still on the air? Yes, but not because it's a profitable network, but rather because it is a leftist-subsidized enemy propaganda program. The show was kicked off by this idiot who looked like he was dressed as Baphomet, who just crawled out of the pits of hell in a performance supposedly dedicated to Beauty and the Beast, which I could only assume is probably just a wink and a nod to MTV's support of bestiality, considering they did an entire performance last year about having sex with animals. Oh, I'm not kidding. They did an entire dance number simulating sex with animals called Leo Got by a Bear. After the bizarre opening sequence, they introduced the first presenter, which is this gender non-binary actress, Asia Kate Dillon, who they said is the breakout star of 2017. And I've never heard of her. I'm sorry, she doesn't go by a he or a she. Gender non-binary means that they are neither male nor female. So when I went to its Twitter account, I realized that the breakout star of 2017 barely had 7,000 followers. In fact, the entire theme of the 2017 MTV Movie Awards was that of gender bending, and they did away with the different categories for men and women because that's just sexist. Instead, they united the categories into just best person. This new gender non-binary actress tried to explain this to us.
If you don't know me, my name is Asia Kate Dillon.
And we don't know you, thankfully.
This year has been
I don't have children.
I'm the first openly non-binary actor to play a non-binary character on a major television show.
This dude's like, what the hell's going on over here?
And now it's so cool to be here presenting the first acting award ever that celebrates performance free of any gender distinctions.
Because genders are humanity. Woo! This is the globalist sting.
Tonight, we celebrate portrayals of the human experience because the only distinction we should be making when it comes to awards is between each outstanding performance.
Yes, that's right. Now the award for Best Actor or Best Actress is considered to be sexist. Oh, this is just the beginning of the insanity. I literally feel ill after having watched most of this show. The first award went to Emma Watson, who I can't even believe I'm wasting brain cells remembering her name. And when she took to the stage to thank everybody, she took the gender-bending baton and decided to keep running with it.
Firstly, I feel I have to say something about the award itself. The first acting award in history that doesn't separate nominees based on their sex says something about how...
By the way, that's a transgender woman named Gigi Gorgeous, of course, seated in the front row with the camera cutting directly to her. The fact that I even know her name is probably going to give me brain cancer.
About how we perceive the human experience. MTV's move to create a genderless award for acting will mean something different to everyone. But to me...
Of course, she's just not reading this off the teleprompter. This is just off the top of her head, right? This certainly isn't scripted. The entire award show was nothing but the most far-left liberal propaganda. In fact, the award for Best Kiss went to these two guys. When this woman won an award, she got on stage and started crying about how great diversity is. And I'm sorry to tell you, Fast and Furious fans, but when Vin Diesel got on stage to accept the Generation Award for the Fast and Furious franchise, he said that the only reason that it was a success is because the younger generations have been open and accepting to multiculturalism. Oh, you don't believe me? Well, you must be a new viewer then. I'll show you the clip in just a second, because all the longtime viewers know that I don't bull people.
But most importantly, I gotta thank our generation.
Most importantly.
Our generation.
Most importantly.
I gotta thank a generation that was willing to accept this multicultural franchise where it didn't matter what color your skin was or what country.
Willing to accept? What the hell does that mean? I wouldn't watch.
Your family.
Wasn't the Cosby Show like one of the top TV shows on television 30 years ago? White America accepted that. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot how that turned out. Bill Cosby's on trial for like drugging and raping dozens of women. Okay, you pretty much get the point by now. MTV is just pure cultural poison, trying to promote the most perverted and abnormal behaviors as if it were not only normal, but cool and something to be celebrated.
It's like a hell bop
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if
at markdice.com and on YouTube. I'm going to skip this break so Mark has more time here with us. But, again, I don't care if somebody thinks they're a man or a woman. It's that they're force-feeding it to kids. It's to end having children. This is biological, chemical warfare. Mark Dice, you're covering all this. The globalist left only seems to be intensifying their efforts right now. Where would you state the state of the world is right now?
We're in the middle of a battle. I mean, having Trump winning was a tremendous victory, but the left came back pretty viciously. First, they called us all alt-right, trying to smear us as white supremacists. Then they called us fake news. Now they're just going after our wallet and trying to strip our advertisers and are stripping our advertisers and really trying to deplatform us. Just yesterday, Alex, I got a warning from Twitter saying that a meme that I had posted saying that there are only two genders is being investigated for being possible hateful and a violation. Now, I'm sure that most of my posts get reported and get flagged. This is the first time that they have ever actually emailed me and saying that this post is under investigation. So not only are they pushing this cultural poison as if it's normal and as if it's cool, as this new non-binary breakout star is supposedly some superhero, but any opposition to it, any jokes about them, any reasonable arguments countering their insanity is considered to be hate speech. Now, just a few weeks ago, I was banned on Facebook, suspended for a week for posting a link to a story about a Dove soap commercial that featured real mothers, wasn't actors, and so it was called Real Moms. And one of the, quote, moms was a transgender man who identifies as this newborn baby's mother.
Let's be clear, you're not a woman, just like Bill Nye banning saying chromosomes make male and female. You can say you're a woman if you want, but we're not going to believe your false science garbage.
And that's one aspect. Now they want to push it to the next where there's the 58 different genders or really unlimited gender. Which
is meant to create total societal collapse. What's behind this, Mark Dice?
This is to finally break up the fabric of society. Which
this is the missile to destroy the nuclear family.
It is to make the government the new God, so that the government and the media, which is really largely in collaboration, controls the, quote, truth, dictates what is real.
This is such a science fiction movie. Can you believe it's this crazy? When I started out 20-something years ago, you like 17 years ago, could you believe, Mark, we'd be in such an insane asylum?
No, we saw what was coming, but it's far beyond what we could have even imagined. And in George Orwell's 1984, at least there were only two different genders. Now you're considered to be neither male nor female, or you're gender fluid. Sometimes it changes, and they want everybody to be bisexual.
It's Brave New World. It's Brave New World.
It is. It's beyond a science fiction fantasy. Now, Facebook suspended me for making a joke about the Dove transgender, quote, mother commercial by saying that I need some Irish Spring, which is a competitor's brand of soap, to clean up the puke because the commercial made me sick. They said that was hateful, and they suspended me for
it's hateful for them to tell you a man can have a baby, which denigrates women. It's a war against reality.
First of all, it wasn't hateful. Second of all, it was a joke. And third of all...
Third, they let all the leftists run around saying, kill conservatives, kill Trump all day.
Well, get this. So a few weeks ago, I came across a video on YouTube, which was a clear criminal intent, someone calling for the murder of police. And this
I saw you cover it, and nothing was done.
Oh, no, and this wasn't just a random guy talking about black. I mean, it was so vicious and so despicable that I didn't want to publicize it because I didn't want to give the person any credit. He was being investigated by multiple agencies, I have later come to realize. But I reported it to Facebook or to YouTube. I flagged. I don't care what anybody says, but you can't do what he's doing. It was beyond incitement. It was a clear, criminal video. YouTube got back to me and said that they reviewed it and said it did not violate the policies.
Okay, well, I saw you covered separate ones. So it's a video saying go out and kill police, how to do it, and that's allowed.
The title of the video, Alex, was "Kill All Cops." And he was talking about how people need to go and kill police officers.
But then meanwhile, we can't show Muslims attacking police. We're not in some police butt-kissing thing. We criticize cops when they're bad. But we don't just as a group say they deserve to die, or black people or Hispanics or women. It's like, as real cultural liberals, by liberal, I mean, we're for freedom, we're against this. So it's crazy.
And with the whole Fire Colbert hashtag, I don't support having him pulled from the airwaves. I don't think he should be fired. He should be able to say...
Sure, but he promotes free speech destruction.
Yeah, without criminal incitement, he should be able to say whatever he wants to. I just want an end to the double standard. And in fact,
that's it.
I was referencing that, saying on social media how if you use certain words to describe certain segments of the liberal population, a word that starts with an F and rhymes with a maggot, right? Or a particular part of a vehicle that is also used to describe transgenderism. They want you banned because you use those words.
Irish, let me ask you this. Why are trannies who, hey, have a great life, I don't care, and Muslims so protected? They're like the new gods.
And again, it's not just transgenderism. I mean, let's just say that there is a birth defect that some people have in a rare case where they have a female brain developed in a male body, and vice versa. Let's just say that that's the case. Then we should be finding a cure. We should be
figuring out how to solve this problem. And if people are attracted to the same sex, women, I mean, I'm a Christian, I get it, but I mean, I'm attracted to women. I get women liking women. As long as you don't hurt somebody, they're adults, whatever. My thing is, why are you forcing it on kids?
Kids believe that Santa Claus flies around the entire world and brings presents to people. Kids can be taught and conditioned to believe almost.
You're a 5-year-old boy that you're a girl.
Yeah, and so this is the destruction
it's all really because your teacher wants to stick their wee-wee in you.
This is to get the society so broken down so there's no moral compass through the family, through religion, so that they only look to their celebrity gods and to the government dictating what is the moral compass.
And I agree, and there's a total rejection of Hollywood. Where do you see this going?
This was the first year that YouTube was seen as a platform, not just for funny cat videos, not just for sharing news clips, but where people like me and people like you and hundreds of thousands of others can use the platform to amass subscriber bases of millions of people.
It was seen as a war machine against globalism, a free speech soapbox. Now they're panicking.
Yeah, and so that's why, I mean, most news channels have been virtually demonetized. And so it's under this disguise, this cloak of, it's to stop hateful content.
And I love how they think if they demonetize news, we're going to stop telling the truth like we only care about money. That hasn't worked, has it, Mark?
It only blows up in their face because there's other ways to become fan-funded. As your revenue model has changed over the last few years, and you are, a self-promoted, self-made guy.
Because of their attacks. Their attacks made us stronger.
Yes, and so this only confirms everything that we've been saying. The YouTube CEO, a woman named Susan Wojcicki, just did an interview with CNN last week, and Poppy Harlow was interviewing her and asked her, what kind of sexism problems are there in Silicon Valley? And she sat there and she hemmed and hawed. She couldn't come up with anything other than saying that there's not enough women in Silicon Valley, which that's not a sexism problem. There's not enough women in the bricklaying industry either. There's not enough women, roofing. Okay, there's women just.
I'll hire women to run stuff as long as do the job. I don't give a damn what you got between your legs.
Sometimes women just don't like to be in particular industries. Okay, let's
just say it. Women, on average, like to go find a big, powerful man that they run, who then takes care of them. It's not that they're weak. They're really the species. Men are created, sexually chosen by the woman to serve them. So women have given up their big power role, don't even get it. Men march off to war. Men build big buildings. They build these giant nests for women. Women don't get their running stuff. The globalists have convinced women to give up their power and give it to the state. The women are the state.
Now, this woman, the CEO of YouTube, one of the most powerful websites in the entire world, as you know, said that the sexism that she has experienced are, quote, microaggressions. This video is on my YouTube channel. When people interrupt her when she's talking. Now, you're in Silicon Valley.
I'm interrupting you constantly. Is that a microaggression?
And it's sexist, too, apparently, because only men interrupt women when they're talking, right? So her sexism that she's been facing, the problem of Silicon Valley, is men interrupting women when they're talking. In an industry filled with alpha males and alpha females.
Constantly interrupt everybody.
People brainstorming and sharing
I get in meetings
ideas
with alpha males. I don't even get to talk.
And that was her example of sexism. This is the woman who's running YouTube.
She's making $50 million a year in bitching.
Oh, and by the way, now she may not, there may not be a big sexism problem over there in the industry, but there certainly appears to be some nepotism behind her career because her sister married the Google co-founder Sergey Brin. So it appears that the only real reason why she got that job is because of a little nepotism there. Google, obviously, the parent company of YouTube. But these are the people who are running the most powerful platform, who are rolling out these new rules about, oh, that's offensive, that's sensitive. My entire channel has been flagged as sensitive content. Hundreds of videos completely demonetized because of the new algorithm. I mean, it's virtually almost, it might as well be completely demonetized. And that's what they're trying to do, to stop people like me.
But the good news is people can buy your books, go to your website, support you knowing we're under attack. Go to InfoWarsStore.com, buy great products you need anyways, and literally stick a stick in the eye of these control freaks who wouldn't even have a website if it wasn't for us.
And all this does is make us stronger. It just gives us more ammo to show that they're trying to shut us down. It causes more people to come. After Facebook banned me for a week, Breitbart did an article about it, and then more people came to see what's going on. Why are they suspending somebody about, a joke about a transgender soap commercial? Oh, and by the way, in Dove, the transgender mom commercial, Alex, they're coming out with new shampoos, new social justice warrior shampoo bottles, because the shampoo bottle apparently is sexist, and it's against heavier, larger women, because the bottle, they think, represents the shape of a woman's body. So now they're coming out with 8 different shapes of shampoo bottles, so that women can buy a shampoo bottle that reflects their body type.
This is designed to turn people into mentally ill basket cases. It's so obvious. And we're going to come back from break and play some clips and get your take on it. But now more than ever, people have to realize this is an assault on the species. Where is this coming from, Mark? I mean, world government, microchips. I mean, it's in the news today on Infowars.com that your smartphones are communicating with your TVs and spying on you. I mean, it's just crazy.
It's been an old plan that's been in motion for a long time, and they have the technology, they have the money, they have the funding, and now they have the distraction of society, the detachment of people from reality, from real news, the breakdown of the family now going into its 3rd generation. And so that's why, there's still a lot of hope. It's still just the battle is really heating up because...
Sure, but I mean, as Christians, you look at this, there's no way people are directing this. I mean, you study this weirdness and how it works and everything. You can really see there's like an anti-human force. Whatever it is, we're on a planet in space, and I mean, this is a science fiction movie, bro.
Yeah, we're definitely in the middle of Bible prophecy, probably really on the kind of the last few chapters of Bible prophecy being fulfilled. And as intelligent as we think we are, we're using all this technology to communicate with across the country, and we've figured out, humanity has figured out a large portion.
But imagine the Trojan horses.
Yeah. We've been able to figure out a decent amount of information about who we are, where we are, and what this place is, but it's really just a small fraction of the reality.
Yeah, like, what is this? We're in space, and they got TVs watching us, and the elite want to kill us? What the hell's going on?
It's a spiritual war. It was foretold in the Bible, which is why they're trying to demonize Christians and Christianity, which is, another thing that...
Which is an emergency transmission. I mean, that is a literal transmission warning us. We got the transmission. We better follow it.
Well, the Bible also predicts that in the end times that what is considered good will be considered evil and what is evil is considered good. And I don't think that that's more properly illustrated than in today's society, where on mainstream media we have people calling for the assassination of police officers. We're demonizing the police. We're demonizing Christians. We're promoting these people who believe that they're not a male or a woman, but they're some new kind of evolved.
And so we have to give up our identity for them.
Yeah, the truth is considered to be hate speech now. And unfortunately now, with everybody relying on social media and being beholden to those terms of service, there's not much recourse people could do when they shut you down, which is why we just need to keep on going and not be silenced and illustrate every attempt.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the state of the republic, the state of the world, and how we fight back with Mark Dice, a really smart cookie, to quote Trump straight ahead. Infowars.com. It's censored. It's under attack. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying this is an epic battle. We're in the center of it. Please pray for us. I'm praying for you.
We're on the march.
The singularity's already close. That's why they act like we don't even exist. Their confidence really shows where they're at. Mark Dice has written about that as John Connor under the pen name. It's funny to see the Democrats saying, if you're watching this transmission, you're the resistance. It shows how weak they are. That's why we're under such attack. It's because we're over the target. We are on target. Nightly News tonight, 7 o'clock. I'm going to take more calls today. We'll do it tomorrow. But, Mark, we don't pre-script these interviews. You've been a busy guy, hard to get on lately. But talking about the state of the world right now and where we are and what the globalists want to build, I see so many awake people, and I also see a lot of the public are like zombies, as you call them. And we don't feel powerful if they're like zombies. We feel upset. The elite love the zombiosis. Where would you say in a football game, team humanity, team enlightenment, team empowerment is versus team technocracy, team enslavement, team psychopath?
You know, we just scored a big touchdown with the victory of President Trump, and with the resurgence of conservatism amongst the millennials and even perhaps amongst Generation Z now getting politically inclined. And so it's really hard to say, but they are in overtime. So it's not the time for us to celebrate and to fall asleep at the wheel, because they're just continuing to go forward with their agenda.
We got to stay in the zone.
We've been tracking. It's great that, you know, people like you've been tracking this for a long time, but so you can see patterns. And now it's just becoming clear what it is that they're doing, and we see their end game plan, and we can't let them get there, because if they do, we're going to have a Chinese-level styled censorship of a Google, which we probably have to some degree already. They've already admitted that they are, quote, redirecting search results. The Federal Trade Commission has investigated them and admitted that they manipulate the search results. Facebook has been caught multiple times manipulating the news feeds of hundreds of thousands of people in order to gauge
they
what the
just
manipulation.
banned tens of thousands of accounts ahead of elections in the UK.
Not just that, but multiple times they've been caught and admitted that they've conducted experiments manipulating what people see on their news feeds or in their status updates feeds to determine how that shapes their opinion. They've done experiments to try to get out the vote, even.
They've done experiments, as you said a year ago, it's now come out. You had they're preying on millennials, preying on weak-minded people to keep them depressed.
And so those are just the cases that we know of. So we know that they're doing this. We know what they're trying to do with these experiments. So you can reasonably extrapolate from that an array of other experiments that they've done that we haven't caught them with. And so this new, you know, all internet technology news cycle, 24/7, it's not even a 24/7 news cycle. It's really just a 15 minutes. You know, Andy Warhol's 15 minutes of fame is really a 15-minute news cycle, because a story that would have caused outrage and been stuck in the news cycle for perhaps.
That's right. We thought having all this openness would defeat them, but it's almost just become conditioned. Our greatest strengths, our greatest weakness. Let me ask you a selfish question. You've got a degree in this, but you've also proven you're a smart guy and have a different, you know, perspective. Why have they picked me the last few months as just the full-on assault? It's actually gotten us more viewers, more listeners. But I get, for our own audience, that doesn't matter. They're in a general audience demonizing an archetype. What do you think that full assault's about?
Well, it's vicious because they realize that you're independent. You're not beholden to advertisers like Fox News. You have your own platform. You're on YouTube, but you're on hundreds of radio stations. As your loyal viewers know, they were hitting you just far below the belt. I mean, far beyond just ordinary criticism, far beyond just attacking. Really just unconscionable attacks against you and your family, which is completely despicable and crosses the line. And when Hillary Clinton mentioned you by name, I mean, I think we all kind of knew that you were going to be the next target.
Yeah, you called me. You said, get ready. That was the green light.
We all kind of knew that that put you on the map, put a target on your back, because they can ignore you. And I'm quite surprised. At this point, they're still kind of ignoring me. I see articles attacking, kind of smaller YouTube channels.
Well, they do that because you're scared, Mark. You're informed. You're slick. You come off much better than their polished writers with 20, 30 writers. Let's just say it. It's true. They're scared of you.
I think they are, and they don't know what to do, because they know if they attack me, they're just going to give me more attention. So they're kind of going after some smaller people. But with you got too big to ignore anymore. And so when Stephen Colbert is doing entire segments 3-4 days a week about you, I mean, you know that all the guns are pointed on you. And so it's great that you have an independent platform, and what they're trying to do to really engulf the entire media stream, the information stream, is to get everybody to rely on Facebook and on Twitter. Facebook is having
I agree. So what is the attack? It's just a message. Don't do this or we'll do this to you. But it doesn't really do anything to you. It's like, I think they're just trying to scare people away from being patriots. What do you think this full assault's about?
No, I don't think they know what to do. They're panicking because they see someone like you rising up, having more viewers, in an hour than most of these shows will get in an entire day. The MTV News YouTube channel can barely get 20,000 views on a single video. Yeah, they're trying to promote this as if this is the premier,
so they're discredited, they're hated, all the polls show it. What do they do next then? I mean, what does all this signify in a warfare model for you then, Mark? You've been banned off Google, you've been banned off YouTube, you've had your websites blocked. You've already been through it. That failed, made you bigger. That's what I see. Like, if they fail shutting me down, what does that do? I mean, it's just crazy.
They're going after you so hard. I mean, on your Wikipedia page, it calls InfoWars a, quote, fake news website. On my Wikipedia page, Alex, the editors refuse to call me a media critic or a media analyst. Get this, despite links to the Washington Times, Fox News, and other outlets, the BBC, very well-respected news outlets calling me a media analyst and a media critic.
You got a degree in it. You've hosted national TV shows. You've got best-selling books. You've been around for 15, 17 years. But they just dehumanize you.
They call me a conspiracy theorist. So I started tweeting about it finally. So get this. Jimmy Wales, the founder of Wikipedia, we started chatting through DMs on Twitter, okay? And he was gracious enough. I don't know if this is because he liked some of my work or if he just kind of wanted this to go away, wanted me to quiet down. The founder of Wikipedia, sitting on the board of directors, went himself, and you can see this in the edit logs, that he did this. This isn't some secret that I'm, throwing him under the bus for doing. He edited my page himself and added that I'm a media analyst, cited these citations because you need, sources. So he sourced the Washington Times, all these other outlets that I mentioned. The other editors overruled him, reverted it back to conspiracy theorists, and then in the talk page said that those just are, quote, very poor sources, okay? So the founder of the site isn't even allowed to cite me as a media analyst.
Which shows this social justice warrior anti-free speech attitude.
It's insane. And so I haven't got around to making a video about it. But all I'm going to do is just make a video about it, and then 1 million people are going to see that. Now your audience is
sure. So don't they just make themselves? Where does this go? They're making themselves illegitimate by doing this.
They might as well just give up and have some reasonable arguments, like we did, in previous.
Yeah, why don't they just argue with us instead of ban us because they can't?
No, and they've positioned themselves as if they are the liberals are the moral authority. And so, I have a lot of people, a lot of liberals will tweet to me and say, well, the First Amendment doesn't protect, you from being banned on social media for violating their terms of service. Well, we just want fairness. We don't want this double standard.
Yeah, you're saying kill Trump and promoting radical Islam, and then we just can't say don't cut women's genitals off.
And at the same time, they're suing businesses if they won't do special products for certain segments of the population. If a photographer won't go and take photos of a gay wedding, they want them sued, they want them out of business. Well, those same people, I guarantee you, if you were to go to a baker, if some Nazis were to go to a baker and want some swastikas put on a cake, I guarantee you that the baker's not going to do it.
Exactly.
Okay?
So let me ask you, where does all this bullying go? Because I don't want to call them betas, but it seems like open free society, modern world, all the alphas were like, hey, let's be nice, everybody. Let's put betas in charge. Now, betas want to be aggressive alphas, so they're now aggressing against alphas. Where does this go?
You know, they're really causing people to get more polarized, to get more angry, to get possibly even more extreme, because reasonable people are seeing these unreasonable arguments, and they're getting upset at being treated unfairly. So I just hope that we can still counter them by reasonable arguments, by demonstrating and showing and proving how they're treating us.
Here's an example. I'm interrupting you. I've never been a butt kisser of the police. I don't like government programs that are unconstitutional, bad cops. I call them out. I wrote books about it. Everybody knows that. But I don't hate cops in average. That's the lowest level of municipal government. That's our issue. If there's a problem, we should fix it. I come out and say, like you do, look, this guy says randomly kill cops. More cops get killed. They go, oh, you're a butt kisser of the establishment. No, I don't randomly pull up at a gas station and see a cop and shoot him in the back. Don't even know their name, who their kids are. Did the cop attack me? Did he come after me? I'll sue him. I'll whatever. The point is that they have to do something. Innocent until proven guilty. You just can't, as a class, say, kill the cops like George Soros has been doing. And then they call us butt kissers. No, we're not. We don't want to kill people that haven't done something.
You know, you were one of the ones on the forefront when smartphones started to become popular with video cameras, and there was a big problem of police officers arresting people and threatening people and even attacking citizens for recording them. And you were one of the first people to start alerting about this. And so thankfully there were memos sent to all police stations finally saying, no, this isn't a wiretap. They can do this. Don't, because it was so new, because before the smartphones had that technology in it, it was very rare for somebody to just have a video camera, walking around and videotape something. But now, as more and more people had those in their pocket, the police officers didn't know how to deal with that. They were abusing their power, trying to stop people from videotaping them. And so you were one of the people that was on the front lines of trying to, alert and persuade the police departments to stop abusing their authority by false arrests and by assaulting citizens. So it's just insane how
exactly. I'm against cops being bad, and I'm against randomly killing cops. And they go, oh, you're not being reasonable. Hate the cops or love them. How about just treat them like normal people?
One more thing about Wikipedia, of course, they'll just allow any random garbage on your page, or they refuse to call me what I actually am. They refuse to have my YouTube stats. For a while, somebody put on there that, oh, Mark runs a YouTube channel. It's got 900,000 subscribers, and every popular, quote, YouTuber has on their page how many their stats.
Sure, but they don't want to show that you're almost 1 million subscribers.
Exactly. And so they removed that. And so just a few double standards, again, from them. The Wikipedia people will not allow large controversy sections on liberal pages. Meanwhile, if you go to your page or Ann Coulter's page, the controversies page or criticism, it's like 25% of the page.
And that's the craziest thing. Is they'll randomly claim some employee says that I have, flying pigs in my office. No proof. It's just made up insane crap. They would never link to that with somebody else.
They won't even mention, at least the last I checked, last week, they won't even mention on Lawrence O'Donnell's page, he's an MSNBC host, any mention of his conspiracy theories about supposedly, you probably covered this, he thought that the Syrian chemical attack was orchestrated by Putin in order to bait Trump into a response.
I saw that.
In order to have the American media distracted and
no, he played your video. No proof, no common sense, no motive, and then he just says it.
That is the definition of a conspiracy theory, and there is no mention of that on his Wikipedia page. At least there wasn't last week when I checked, when I was putting together a story on this. So they won't allow legitimate criticism, and that was reported even in the Washington Post, which is run by the psycho Jeff Bezos, who wants to go into space and have AI take over. So even the Washington Post, probably the far leftist, most liberal newspaper, not website, obviously, but as far as print papers.
Sure, so since you mention Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. We've known for decades the globalists believe they're going to merge the machines, become these gods. That's what they believe. It's what the Bible says they believe thousands of years ago. Don't they get they'll transcend all this if they believe in humanity instead of believing we're all done and it's over? I mean, it's just crazy. Al Gore's new movie's coming out, claiming that we're all going to die if we don't pay him carbon taxes. In your gut, where do you think the next few years is going, Mark Dice?
It's going to be crazy. We may see the birth of almost human-level intelligence AI. They're trying to create AI to monitor all live streams on Facebook and YouTube, and to monitor all uploads to determine whether or not
they're already putting AI in charge of censoring us. So robots are already not judges, not juries, robots.
Now, as great as the technology is, you shouldn't rely on it because it fails at the most unexpected times. I mean, when the iPhone
there's also the argument that it's independent. They program it for how they want.
It's so complicated, nobody knows the algorithms. And so those who are controlling the algorithm, at least until the AI possibly...
Who controls the algorithm controls it all.
Yeah. Now, maybe 5 years ago when the iPhone was becoming pretty popular, when the time changed, a lot of people use, obviously, their phones for their alarms. It has replaced the alarm clocks. And so when the time changed, during daylight savings time, millions of people's alarms were an hour off because the clocks now, as you know, automatically change. You don't have to go and manually change your clock. Your cable box automatically changes. So we're relying on this technology to tell us what time it is, to tell us what to do, tell us what to think. So there was a glitch in the system where the alarm clock still was based off of the previous time, so everybody's alarms were an hour off. Okay, so this
it shows how we're totally dependent on us to make the decisions. Pretty soon, does a robot help me breathe?
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So I was a victim of this. I woke up and I thought, wait a minute, I thought I had my alarm set. What the heck is going on? So when I got to work later that day, I checked the blogs, and sure enough, major glitch, on Apple causes millions of people's alarms to go up. It gets even better. So was it like 4 months later, 5 months later, when the time changes back? It happened again. They didn't fix it to go the reverse way, Alex.
So it shows how the elites are turning everything over to AI, and then they're giving control up themselves. The ultimate control freaks are giving up control to their silicon god. And I've talked to a lot of engineers. They don't even know how stuff works now or how chips get made. It's like computers are already doing it for like 5 years and no one knows. We're already captured by AI. Is it already conscious? Look at this article by Kit Daniels now up on Infowars.com. College destroys books after digitization, sparking fears of 1984 style censorship. Digitized books altered, original sources destroyed, just like 1984. But it's all done with a liberal coding and an establishment Republican packaging. I'm going to finish up with Mark Dice and introduce Paul Watson coming up to host the fourth hour. We've got a bunch of specials at InfoWarsStore.com. It is an act of rebellion against the globalist to get high-quality, non-fluoride, colloidal silver, iodine-based, high-quality toothpaste. Sign up for auto ship, get 10% off. Support us each month. We need the funding. We're funded by viewers and listeners like you, period. We also have a lot of other specials. X2 selling out. We're going to sell out the next day or so of our DNA Force. Super high quality. Biome Defense, 50,000 live systems in each pill with our probiotic. That's back in stock. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And I want to thank all the listeners for helping build this organization and what we've done so far. I want to grow on the face of this. I want in the next 6 months to a year have like 16, 18, 20 hours a day of live radio/TV because there's so many great minds, so many great people that I want to get on air to really reach people. I don't want to roll over to this anti-human force. I take it personally. So InfoWarsStore.com. Mark Dice, we were getting into a lot of points. I've asked a lot of questions here today. But in the last 3-4 minutes we have, what are other issues or other topics you want to impart to people?
Newer is not always better. We see that in society we tend to come up with new and synthetic ways of doing things, and then oftentimes we later discover that those only create more problems. Like the food, they create the GMO foods. It creates these cheap, sometimes delicious tasting foods. Unfortunately, it just ends up harming you, and then people go back to then the original organic. And so we're seeing a backlash now against ebooks. So for the first time, paperback books or P-books or physical books, as they're being called, are getting more popular because people are realizing the dangers of ebooks. They don't like to just have to hold their tablet. People like to write in a book and
the blue light messes your brain up.
Yeah, they like
and you don't physically hold it. Exactly. We need to get back to organic.
If I drop a book, I mean, nothing's going to happen. But if you're sitting on your patio and you happen to drop your iPad, well, guess what? There's $500.
And they're going in, like you said, I just read it. They're editing the famous books. Look at Bill Nye the Science Guy cut chromosomes, men and women out. We know.
Yep. I had one of my books was removed from the Apple iBook store because they were auto scanning it, and it happened to mention in my book, like at the very end, hey, if you like this book, you check out my other ones. You can get them on Amazon.com or download them from any of the ebook stores. They said that I violated their terms of service because I was promoting a competitor's store. So,
you've got AI robots censoring your speech saying, support me.
Yeah, just mentioning another competitor's store. I mean, that would be, we may get into a digital book burning phase here where these isolated incidents could go full blown, or Amazon could start removing certain books or just decide not to carry books.
Well, remember when they banned 1984 for a while?
Or now they Orwellianly deleted it, from Kindle because somebody who uploaded it to the digital store didn't have the rights, and so a lot of people went and bought the book, and not knowing, different publishers have the rights.
So the bottom line is, be conscious, make decisions, change the world. We have the power, not the globalists, if we choose to have it. Mark Dice, amazing. MarkDice.com. Thank you so much. Fourth hour coming up. I'll introduce Paul Watson straight ahead. Stay with us. It's your duty to spread this link. If you want to defeat the globalists, we're under attack. We need your support.